Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. Hasn't been a while since I posted my last video. Thought I'd give you a quick update. I've recently had surgery on my hand. It took longer, my finger for me personally took longer to heal. I was told by a few people, oh, you'll be okay in a week. And I soon really started to feel well and I went back to work. Big mistake. I managed to get an infection in my finger. There were still open wounds from the surgery. I was a bit stupid really. Anyway, I ended up losing about 3 weeks in total because I went back to work too soon. So that's a lesson to learn. Also, there's some nerve damage in my finger. I got full flexibility back. For those of you that don't know, I had a surgery for a condition on my hand called Dupotrons. You can look that up, Google Dupotrons, and you'll find out about it. But anyway, I got full movement in the finger back again, but I have lost sensation. They say it will come back, but I don't know. It's taking its time. Anyway, that's that. But I'm back at work now. That's the important thing. I'm back making a living again, albeit a little bit slow to start off with. So I thought I'd do a quick video on my work routine, just showing me back at work, showing you that I am actually building the knives again now. And also I've had on my mind for some time that with the design of the bushcraft knife, the Woodlaw clone, there is room for improvement in the design, in the basic design. Now the bushcraft knife, hold on a sec, I gotta get something. With the design of the bushcraft, the Jacklore Classic or the Woodlaw, or any Woodlaw clone, if you follow the dimensions of the Woodlaw sized handle, you end up with a knife which is a beautiful fit in the average person's hand, or even to the person with a fairly large hand. I've got a sort of my hand's larger than the average, but it's not massive, and it fits my design of my handle size and shape. Fits my hand like a glove. It's absolutely beautiful, and I can do the chest lever grip, and you can see there's no overhang there that digs in. What happens with a lot of people that have large hands, the pommel ends up being up there, and then they end up having an uncomfortable thing digging in, the back of the pommel digging into the palm of their hand. But with my knife, for my sized hands, anyone with hands my size or smaller, they're not going to have a problem. The dimensions of the Classic are identical to pretty close anyway to another well-known designer knife. Yeah, that's an Allen Wood Woodlaw, and as you can see, they're pretty much more or less there. There's not a lot in it. So you can see that it's designed very much for someone with a hand my size or perhaps a little smaller. So if someone's got a very large hand, then they've got to have the knife scaled up. And I built a couple of scaled up Classics recently for customers with very large hands. And the knives were lovely, but I just got the impression that they were just too big. The blades were too big. We don't need huge knives for bushcraft, because I mean the way that I view bushcraft and a lot of other people view bushcraft is you have a tool specific for the task. So you have a knife for knife tasks, you have an axe for heavier tasks, you have a saw for chopping down wood. You don't need a massive great knife. I know some people like massive great knives. So you don't want a huge blade. So the problem was to design a handle for someone's hand who had very large hands, but the handle would not interfere with the back of their palm when they were doing the chest lever grip. And that's when I messed around with this design, and I came up with this, and I'm reasonably happy with the handle shape on this knife for someone with a larger hand. So you can see it's very much rounded over here. So when it's in your hand, if you've got a very large hand, you could come up here and it's still not, that's still relatively comfortable. So I just decided that was a good thing to do for some people. I'm not going to be doing a lot of these. It's just going to be every now and again I'll have a large handle, what I call the large hand. I call it that it is slightly longer in length compared to a classic. Let's get you a classic for comparison. So you can see it's probably about 5 mil longer on the handle. But the handle profile just means that people can, with larger hands, they can overhang that bit there and not get an uncomfortable pommel digging into the back of the palm. So that's it. Probably going to call it the Jacklore LH for large hand, LH. I'll play the little video for you now, and you can see a few little things that I do. I've also, in the last couple of years, 3 years probably now, I've gone over to fit in G10 liners to my scales. G10 is really superb material for liner material. But the problem with it is that it absolutely hammers your cutting tools. And if I start cutting my scales to shape using a bandsaw, within seconds the bandsaw's lost its edge and the blade's just rubbish. So I now grind all the shapes rather than cut them with the bandsaw. It doesn't take that much longer, and the grinding belt is a lot cheaper to replace than the bandsaw blade. So that's what I do. There's a few things I do differently. I've changed the way I build my mosaic pins over the years. You know, you learn different things. So I have taken a few of my old videos down now, because well, they were old processes, and I've since revised those. And so I'll do maybe a new video every now and again on some revised processes that I'm currently doing. After what's it been now? 7 years, 8.5 years, 9 years almost of building the knives. I've picked up a thing or two, so I'll pass on a few hints and tips along the way. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.